Hello everyone. Today I will be presenting my research proposal titled Digital Context Collapse and Intercultural Identity Negotiation, a mixed method study of mediated communication. My name is Ashley Canfield. This proposal explores how people communicate across cultures and digital spaces and how online platforms influence identity and meaning. In today's world, digital communication is centered to almost everything we do: education, relationships, work, and even global conversations. Platforms like TikTok, Instagram, connect people across cultures more than ever before, across different countries or anything. However, these digital spaces often remove the context we normally rely on to interpret meaning. This is known as context collapse. Without those cues, misunderstanding happens much more easily. Because of this, traditionally, intercultural communication theories, many of which were developed before social media existed, don't fully capture what's happening today. My research explores how people negotiate identity and meaning online and how digital platforms influence intercultural communication. Classical communication theory, especially Hall's high context versus low context framework, helps explain how cultures differ in communication. High context cultures rely more on shared knowledge and nonverbal cues. Low context cultures rely on explicit verbal messages. But online communication distributes all of this. Emojis, memes, abbreviation, filters can change how people express themselves. Messages are often short, stripped of tone or body language, and end up being misunderstood. Online platforms also create new symbols and norms that don't translate the same across cultures. This shows that traditional theories need updating to fit digital communication. Another major area of research is identity. Jandit talks about intercultural communication competence, which includes knowing how your own identity affects communication. But other scholars argue that competence also includes navigating power and negotiating identity. Identity management theory says that people manage multiple identities at once, especially in intercultural interactions. Cultural contract theory says that sometimes people feel pressured to conform to dominant cultural expectations. Online, identity becomes even more complex. People switch languages, use emojis differently, present different versions of themselves on different platforms, and constantly adjust how they communicate. This makes identity negotiation more complicated in digital spaces. Digital platforms are not just a place where communication happens, they actually shape communication. Each platform has its own culture. TikTok has trends and humor. Instagram encourages visual pictures. And algorithms control what content people see. These algorithmics can limit or expand intercultural exposure. They can reinforce stereotypes or exposure users to new cultures. Emojis, GIFs, and memes also act as cultural symbols, but they are interpreted differently across cultures. This means digital media plays an active role in shaping intercultural interactions. My study will ask 4 key questions. First, how do individuals negotiate identity during digital intercultural communication? Second, what contextual cues do people rely on online, such as emojis, tone indicators, or shared knowledge? Third, how do platform features like algorithmic shape understanding or misunderstanding? And finally, how can existing intercultural communication theories be updated to reflect digital communication? To answer these questions, I propose a three-phase mixed method study. Phase 1 is a survey of about 300 participants from different cultural backgrounds. This survey will look at their platform use, communication experiences, and levels of digital intercultural competence. Phase 2 is semi-structured interviews with about 30 people. These interviews will explore personal experiences with miscommunication, identity performance, and platform influence in greater detail. Phase 3 is a digital interaction analysis. Participants will share de-identified screenshots or examples of real conversation that illustrates misunderstanding or negotiation. This allows me to analyze real communication behaviors. By combining these methods, I can get both broad patterns and deep insights. Based on existing research, I expect to find that identity is negotiated differently on each platform. For example, people act more professional on LinkedIn, more humorous or creative on TikTok, and more intimate or personal on Facebook or Instagram. I also expect to see frequent use of contextual repair strategies, things like clarifying messages, using emojis or punctuation, switching languages, or explaining cultural references when misunderstandings happen. Another expected finding is that the cultural norms interact with platform norms in ways that cause misunderstandings. Different cultures use emojis differently, interpret humor differently, and rely on different cues. Finally, I expect the study to show that we need updated theories, ones that include algorithm, platform designs, and digital context. This research is significant for several reasons. Theoretically, it updates classical intercultural communication models for the digital age. Practically, it can improve digital literacy, especially as communication becomes increasingly global. The findings may also help platform design more inclusive systems and support better cross-cultural dialogue online. Socially, this research can reduce misunderstanding, support marginalized communities, and promote healthier online communication environments. To conclude, digital spaces are transforming intercultural communication in ways that traditional theories can't fully explain. Context collapse, algorithm, symbolic digital cues, and platform-specific cultures all shape how meaning is created and how identity is negotiated. This research proposal addresses these gaps with a mixed method study that examines real communication across platforms. The projected outcome of this research is a new digital intercultural communication competence model that reflects the complex of communication in our modern media driven world.